Mir Ahmed bin Quasem Arman, a practicing barrister at the Bangladesh Supreme Court, was reportedly abducted by state security forces on the night of August 9, 2016. He became one of the many victims of enforced disappearances during Sheikh Hasina's authoritarian regime. At the time, his father, a prominent businessman and social entrepreneur, had been convicted by the International Crimes Tribunal in Dhaka for crimes against humanity committed during the 1971 Liberation War. Arman had publicly criticized the tribunal's legal flaws and its political use by the Hasina government. His outspoken writings drew international attention and timely making him a target. After enduring 8 years of severe torture in a secret detention center known as Aynaghor, the Glass House, Arman was released on August 6, 2024, a day after Hasina's dictatorship fall in a bloody revolution. In this exclusive interview with Delta Voice, Arman shares his story and reflections. At that time, when you were detained, you didn't have any political, even strong political identity. But why they were so vindictive to you?
I was an open critic of the then fascistic regime. The biggest threat to a autocracy is voice of criticism. Voices will expose their activities to the world. I went to a private school which followed British curriculum, and I used to make the posts in English. Within a very short span of time, my social media post attracted audience globally. International press like Washington Post, New York Times, Guardian, and international human rights organizations like Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, they all followed my posts very closely. And the allegations that I was making there, the criticism that I was making there, they used to take it and put it to the government, saying that that lawyer is putting this criticism about this trial process. What's your response to it? The truth is, the then autocratic regime did not have any response because they didn't want a fair trial to take place. They wanted a short trial. They wanted a sham. They wanted a kangaroo court.
Widely known as Glass House or Aynaghor, where you spent almost 8 years, and that was a nightmare for you, so far I understand. So what was your feeling at that time?
I was defending my father's case at the time. I was his lawyer. The trial court convicted him and given a death sentence, and appeal was ongoing. In that moment, I was abducted. I didn't even know what happened to my father. Is he alive or he was executed? I didn't know where he was buried. My father's last wish that I lead the funeral prayer, the janaza prayer. I didn't know anything about that. I was really worried about my family, particularly them not knowing whether their father is dead or alive. I had 2 daughters who had to go to bed not knowing whether their father is dead or alive. When I was abducted, I was 32 years old. My wife is 27. A 27-year-old woman had to live in uncertainty for 8 years, not knowing whether his husband is alive or not. After my abduction, my father was executed just days after my abduction. My mother had to go run around the country looking for me. When they went to the police, they went to the other security forces. She tried to contact the Prime Minister's office, the President's office, just to find out whether I'm alive or not. But she couldn't find an answer. They had to wait in uncertainty. Every time they will receive a call from an unknown number, they felt like there's news about my son, but there was none. It took me a revolution, a toppling of the regime for me to get out of that house of mirror they used to call the Aynaghor prison, secret prison where the detainees were systematically subject to degrading and inhuman treatment, designed to give them a worse than death experience.
How you passed your time?
It was very difficult. 24 hours felt like an eternity. Only reason I think I could put my head above the water is because of my spirituality. I'm a believer, and I believe this life is not the end. There is a life afterwards, and whatever I'm having to suffer will be rewarded in hereafter. So that spirituality helped me keep alive, and I tried to get whatever time I got in spiritual activities, in ibadah, in reciting Quran, whatever you memorize, praying, doing dhikr, trying to utilize the time, because the only thing which you will never get back is the time. And I told myself it's an opportunity for me to build my reward in akhirah. The more I spend in remembrance of Allah, I will be rewarded.